The purpose of this video is to give you some hints about the radiation lab. The first thing you should do is open the lab manual and look through the background. It's actually an interesting read, and I think it's not too difficult to understand, and it will help you answer some of the questions at the end of your report. In the procedure, what you're basically doing is just measuring the radiation output of certain things that you'll find in this lab. The first thing you'll be using is the Geiger counter, and you can turn that on, and that gives you a count for the background radiation, which in this case is 40 counts per minute. Then you've got your materials here, and that's what you'll be taking the radiation readings of. And for example, you'll take your alpha here and you'll lay it on top, and it will give you a radiation count. Now what I recommend you do for each of these samples here is I would just take the sample and stick it in the recycle bin before taking the next sample. It'll just avoid some sort of problems you might have. Now for these other items that aren't these samples, these, according to the procedure, need to be put onto the lab bench before you go ahead and take their readings. So stick the Fiesta ware on the bench, for example, take it over here, and it will give you the reading. And then, I think this is kind of important, take the sample away from the Geiger counter before you bring the next one down, and that way you won't end up getting any errors that have to do with any groupings or anything else. So make sure that you copy down any of the readings that you get in your lab notes so that they appear next to your report when you go ahead and start submitting your report. So there's not really that much to it as far as taking the readings. Let's take a look at the report and what it looks like. So the first part here is it asks you for the background radiation count, and then it asks you to record the total radiation emitted by each sample, and then it asks you to calculate the radiation emitted by the source alone. Now that's not that hard to work out. If the background is a certain amount, let's say it is 40, then all you'll have to do is take each of these and subtract 40 counts per minute from those readings, and that will give you the new readings that you'll need to put down here. As for the other questions that you'll need to answer, I think you can go a long way by reading the background that's in the lab manual, and you'll be able to handle most of what goes on in there.